a video for Ethan, then I had a workout. I was feeling great. I was feeling good. Saw a pod clip just got uploaded, went on it just to see comments, and then I saw all of that, and my heart just sunk straight away.
We thought it might have just been us two today, because Charlie wasn't sure if he was going to do it today, because we're going to talk a little bit about what's been happening this week. Charlie's been an eventful week, to say the least, would you say?
All up in arms, yeah.
All up in arms, emotions up and down, and down. I think we should talk about that first, bro, if you want to. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
You feeling it?
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. He's currently...
he's playing Flappy Bird.
Nervous twitching. Just clicking stuff.
So, do you want me to explain it for a little bit?
Yeah, go for it.
This week, you can say in more detail, but obviously you've been getting a lot of shit on Twitter for different things, whether that's warranted, whether that's not. You can talk about it. And also, thing I think we should talk about first, because it's more relevant to the podcast,
Of course.
is comments. Comments. And I know I was talking to you, it wasn't last night, it was the night before, and you were like, look, I'm not doing the podcast anymore. I don't want to do it, at least for a couple of weeks, maybe. I'm just saying
That's
that.
how he feels better type thing.
Yeah, so I can't wait to title this Charlie is leaving the podcast and get loads of views. So if you've been clickbaited, thank you. Yeah, I remember you saying that after a few comments, because was it the Els podcast?
Yeah.
Do you want to say what you saw?
Well, I mean, I've just read the comments, to be honest with you. I've mentioned it before on a previous podcast where I got, like, towards the end of last year, I was getting, like, a lot of hate. Didn't really know why or how or where it was coming from. And then, because I was going through a bit of a shit time at the end of last year, I just kind of, like, just rode it. And I was just like, fuck it, it'll go. And then it went... just like subsided, nothing really. There weren't any good comments about me, but there weren't anything bad. But there weren't really any good comments about anyone, if you get what I mean. Because I feel like something which has stuck out as a comment that someone's made is that if someone's enjoying it or they have something like they like it, they don't necessarily always leave a good comment. They just do it.
That's exactly right, mate. That's what I do. If I enjoy a video, I never comment that I enjoy it, but
It's the exact same with like a restaurant. If you have a bad meal, you're going to state it. But if you have a good meal, you'll be like, yeah, it was alright.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You're not going to be over like, oh, it was fucking amazing. You're not going to leave a review about it. But if you have a really bad experience at a hotel, restaurant, whatever, you're going to fucking leave a review.
Yeah.
You go.
No, you can.
Well, I remember the the podcast I think had a couple, but I remember it was the first clip or the second clip. I think it was first clip that got uploaded. And I remember I just go on the comments, and I remember seeing like 7 in a row, and they were all within like 10 minutes, which was really strange. As if it was like we were saying it was a bit like a group.
I am convinced, because this sounds like we're being a little bit dramatic, and it was just on like one clip, and it was just like one hate comments, but it wasn't. It was. I don't think it started at the start of the podcast, did it? Like I think the first month or two was all right. I think it's when we started getting different channels on, different demographics on, that we started seeing people that didn't know us so well commenting these things about lovely little Charles. And I remember at first you were like, oh, damn, bother me, it's funny. And it was. Some of them were quite funny to start off with, but then it started getting progressively worse to the point where it comes across as like bullying, unnecessary, and it's just points. And it made me feel uncomfortable, because I remember I seen one clip in particular that had so many comments about him. And I was like, he might have said something fucking weird, let me watch this. So I watched it, and I think he said about 2 lines the whole time, and I was like, what? Like, he didn't say anything. Why are people saying this? And I was also telling Charlie, look, don't let it bother you, because I remember, for example, Impulsive, Mike got so many fucking awful comments for the first like 2-3 months, but then he became like one of the favourites later on. So I was like, oh, it's normal, especially if you're on a new podcast. But it's not like you joined us late. You done it. We've all been the same 3 from the first podcast. So it was just a little bit weird. I couldn't put my finger on why it was.
But it's the comments on, if the comment was like, look, Charlie, you need to ask better questions. Yeah. Look, Charlie, you need to. But like, I remember seeing one comment, and it was on the Els one, and it was like, why does this guy to the left look homeless? Like, but it's like, who the fuck comments shit like that? Like, what fucking wetties commenting shit like that?
To be fair, I wouldn't really say that was one of the bad ones, because they're in their head, I think they're thinking that's a joke, but there was ones that were just unnecessarily mean. Like ones people like judging. I think there was one, I don't want to I don't even want to like allude to them, because I don't want to give them the intention, but I think there is I'm just putting out there, I think it is the same 5 to 10 boys/girls that are just like putting in a group chat being like, oh, let's do this, because like what you're saying, it was all within the same time of each other. And I don't want anyone to sit there and think we are being little bitches, being like, oh, they can't take criticism. It's not that, right? I've had comments criticising. I don't fucking know if I have actually, but I've had whenever there's comments like criticising the podcast in general, like whether it's the camera, whether it's the questions, whether it's not letting the guest speak enough, that criticise the whole podcast. We're more than happy to do that. Criticism is great. We're more than happy to sit there and be like, yep, great, thanks, noted. I've replied to half them comments, be like, yep, thank you, or just being like, oh, what do you think we could do better? Them type of things, they're fucking great. I love them, smashing. But when it's just outright just fucking bullying for no point, no criticism. Like when we were seeing the comments that were just talking about, oh, we don't like Charlie. I was like, but why? Like, give us a reason why, and then we can be like, oh, maybe. But no, there wasn't anything he was doing. It was just straight out, just harassment, bullying, insults.
How you felt this week, Charles?
Like shit, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, like, there's been ups and downs here. Like, I agree with what Lewis has just said, but then ultimately, I think where I'm trying to come around to terms with it is that the bigger that you get or the more that you do online is the more you have to come to terms with it. Sometimes some people are just so low in their own life that they're going to try and bring other people down.
People just love to be angry.
But how have you felt, though?
How have I felt? Like, I was in the gym filming a video, did a video for Ethan, then I had a workout. I was feeling great, was feeling good. Saw a pod clip just got uploaded, went on it just to see comments, and then I saw all of that and my heart just sunk straight away. Went to the toilet and I sat in the toilet for about 40 minutes. And I just was trying not to have like some sort of like strange panic attack. Did my Instagram stories and just kind of like logged off my phone and just sat there for a few minutes. I was speaking to Nikki.
Do you want to, just before you say it, do you want to, obviously your Instagram story, you kind of broke down a little bit on it, didn't you?
Yeah. I just explained like what it was I was going through. I think like I've had like probably about 400 requested messages. Loads of people. Yeah, just built different these days. I've had so many people who are friends, either like sending me text messages or replying to my story, whatever. It's been absurd. Like, it was actually quite overwhelming. It was only until yesterday that I managed to finally get through all of them.
Good messages, by the way. Not bad ones.
There were 2 bad ones. One person said that you literally have the easiest job in the world, and like, honestly, you have no fucking clue, but keep that opinion. And another person, he's just this guy that always replies to my stories, just being a bit of a twat. So I made him unfollow me. So feel free to follow me again, give me more views, but that's it. But in all honesty, like, it was very overwhelming. It was a very nice feeling. Like, it has been up and down. I can't comprehend what kind of negative headspace some people have to be in to like try and make another person feel like they've done something, because towards the end of last year, I was sat there and I was questioning my own ability to even do a fucking podcast. Like, it doesn't take talent to do a podcast. It takes talent to do a podcast and do it well, you know? But that being said, I sat there and was just like, am I a detriment to the team? Am I not bringing enough to the table? So what is I'm doing? I was just questioning myself.
Yeah, so when you're saying, like, when I'm asking how you feel and you get them comments, you're kind of saying that you're kind of feeling less confident in yourself because you're like, well, are these comments right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, no, like, there's, like, you do a pod and people, like, you're just being yourself kind of thing. And when people seem to gun for you for that, like if it's a video or if it's an Instagram story or if it's Twitter or something like that, you could be like, you could hide behind the like, oh, they don't really know me kind of thing at all. But on a pod, like, whilst people who watch this don't know me still,
it's more personal.
It is more personal, and you know them more, you know.
So when you've done your Instagram story and everything, and I remember you came back on the night, and I could tell like you were so down. How have you been? How do you, like, because I haven't really seen you that much the last couple of days since it's happened. How have you been? Like, have you just been, like, how have you been in general, down?
Yeah. Yes.
I remember you came home and then I told you to come on Valheim, and then a troll destroyed your house, and I didn't really realise the severity of that actions, and then I logged on last night and I seen what the troll had done to your house.
The trolls fucking destroyed my whole house.
So even the fucking trolls coming for you?
Literally
the actual troll. He was like
trolls and trolls.
I remember
I just logged off straight away.
Yeah, he came on after a rough day just to play a bit of Valheim, and a troll came in and destroyed a house that he spent hours on. And
you know what?
I thought you were being dramatic. And then last night I went on and I seen it and I went, Jesus
I kind of respect the shithousery from the troll with that one, though. He doesn't give a fuck about the actual trolls.
I'll shag his girlfriend, man. He's a fucking little troll bitch. He's fucking pussy. Anyway, how I'm feeling, I don't know, extremely low. Grateful to have such a level of support like behind me because it doesn't go like unnoticed. I just didn't really feel like I wanted to be anywhere really. I just wanted my own space and my own time, but unfortunately like life has to just continue kind of thing. I've got to do me.
Some things that's better though because it's like distraction.
Do you want to mention who, like the message you got which kind of turned it a little bit or not? You don't have to mention who it was from, but just what someone said.
JJ.
Yeah.
I mean, there was loads of people. Like, I'm not going to attribute it to JJ for like the whole clickbait purposes. I spoke to Ethan as well. Ethan was just like, Ethan basically told me to stop being an idiot. He said, "Do you think that we'd be anywhere where we are now if we didn't get hate, or we just gave up the second that we got hate?" JJ said, "Do the pod. There's no reason why you shouldn't." He started talking about more personal stuff, which I won't talk about on here. It's a private conversation. But he was basically saying like to do the pod, and there's no reason why you shouldn't. Basically, they basically both said the same kind of thing.
Fuck them, basically.
Yeah.
Fuck yous.
Yeah.
All yous, even the nice ones. Fuck yous.
I think like I'm still not feeling 100, but I will be fine. Like ultimately, I think the amount of support that I've got over the last 2 days is kind of like more. I should focus more on that.